Candace Owens has just thrown the internet into chaos with a revelation so shocking that even Erika Kirk couldn't hide her fury. During a high-profile conversation that was supposed to be a routine discussion about the late Charlie Kirk's legacy, Candace dropped undeniable proof suggesting Erika has been actively involved in covering up details surrounding Charlie's death. The moment the evidence was revealed, Erika's calm, composed demeanor shattered, and the reactions online were instantaneous. According to insiders, Candace didn't just drop vague hints. She presented documents, messages, and testimonies that paint a picture far more serious than anyone expected. Erika, who had long maintained a public image of grief and resilience, suddenly appeared defensive, angry, and almost desperate to control the narrative. Viewers say the tension was so thick it could be felt through the screen. Candace's delivery was calculated but relentless, leaving Erika with nowhere to hide. Fans and media commentators were quick to label the incident as the showdown of the year. Clips of Erika's reaction, her facial expressions, and body language exploded across social media, with people speculating about what exactly she's been hiding and how deep the cover-up might go. This isn't just another celebrity feud. This could potentially rewrite the public's understanding of the events surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. Everyone is asking the same question. What does Erika Kirk know? And how far has she gone to keep the truth buried? The answers are coming to light, and Candace Owens is making sure the world sees every shocking detail. The tension in the studio was palpable the moment Erika Kirk arrived. What was supposed to be a controlled, measured conversation about her late husband Charlie Kirk's legacy quickly turned into a powder keg of accusations, evidence, and explosive revelations. Candace Owens, known for her fearless approach to confronting controversial figures, had come prepared. She wasn't there for pleasantries or rehearsed statements. She was there to expose what she believed was a deliberate cover-up regarding Charlie Kirk's death. Erika walked in confident, smiling politely as if the cameras and microphones were just another stage in a routine performance. But as soon as Candace began presenting the evidence, that facade started to crack. The first documents she laid out were damning on their own emails, internal reports, and private messages that seemed to indicate Erika had knowledge of events surrounding Charlie's death that she had never shared publicly. The cameras captured every micro-expression. Erika's smile faltered, her hands shook slightly, and her voice, which had been calm and measured, began to waver. Candace was relentless. "Erika," she said firmly, "the public deserves to know the truth. These documents show a series of actions taken to conceal details about Charlie's final days. Can you explain why you didn't disclose this information?" For a moment, Erika was speechless. The documents were not just allegations. They were concrete proof. In front of millions, Erika's carefully constructed narrative of grief and integrity was unraveling in real time. She opened her mouth to respond, but could only muster vague, defensive statements. I was trying to protect the family," she said, voice tight with tension. Candace didn't relent. Protect the family or protect yourself. Because what these messages show is that certain decisions were made deliberately to mislead the public about what really happened. She pulled up a specific message on a tablet, zooming in so that everyone could see the timestamp and sender details. Erika's eyes widened. The room went silent except for the sound of cameras recording every reaction. Behind the scenes, producers described the atmosphere as chaotic. Crew members whispered to each other, stunned by Erika's reaction. Her usual composure was gone. Instead, there was visible anger, panic, and desperation to regain control. Candace, maintaining her calm demeanor, continued to walk Erika through the evidence point by point. Each revelation seemed to further destabilize Erika, who had clearly underestimated Candace's preparation and the impact of the proof being shown at one point. Erika slammed her hand on the table, her voice rising. "You don't understand. You weren't there? You don't know what we went through?" The outburst, though brief, sent shockwaves through the studio. Social media users who caught the live stream immediately began posting clips, highlighting her aggressive reaction and questioning what exactly Erika was hiding. Candace remained steady, her voice unwavering. "Erika, no one is judging your grief or your personal loss. But when evidence points to actions that contradict your public statements, the world has a right to know. These documents don't lie, and they show a pattern of intentional concealment." The proof Candace revealed wasn't just limited to emails. It included financial records, phone logs, and witness statements that aligned in a way that painted Erika as more than a passive observer. Insiders later said this suggested a deliberate effort to control information and influence public perception regarding Charlie's final days. Erika, realizing the severity of the situation, attempted to redirect the conversation. "We were just trying to manage the media," she said, trying to sound reasonable. It was all about protecting Charlie's legacy. But Candace countered immediately, highlighting inconsistencies in her previous interviews, pointing out statements Erika had made that directly contradicted the newly revealed evidence. As the segment continued, viewers noted a dramatic shift in Erika's demeanor. She became quieter, less assertive, and visibly frustrated. Candace, sensing the moment, pressed further. "Erika, you can either answer these questions honestly now, or the evidence will continue speaking for itself. The truth doesn't depend on your words, it depends on actions. And these actions are documented." At this point, Erika's team intervened off camera, signaling the producers that she needed a break. But the damage was already done. Clips of her tense facial expressions, trembling hands, and defensive gestures quickly went viral. Analysts on social media dissected every movement, every eye flicker, labeling the incident as a textbook example of someone caught in deception. Insiders later revealed that the documents Candace presented were obtained through a combination of public records, anonymous whistleblowers, and previously unreleased communications. The meticulous preparation and the airtight sourcing left Erika little room for denial. Even legal advisors admitted that attempting to refute the proof on live camera could expose her to more serious scrutiny. Throughout the hour-long segment, Candace maintained a tone that was firm but respectful. She emphasized that her goal wasn't to attack Erika personally, but to uncover the truth. The contrast between her calm, methodical approach and Erika's increasingly erratic responses made the entire confrontation feel almost cinematic, a real-time unraveling of public deception. By the end of part one of the interview, Erika was visibly shaken. She had no more rehearsed lines, no prepared statements. The veneer of control had cracked, revealing someone struggling to respond to the undeniable evidence laid before her. The viewers watching this unfold, live or in clips later, could see that Candace Owens had not only confronted Erika Kirk, but had also exposed cracks in the carefully constructed public image she had maintained since Charlie Kirk's passing. The episode left viewers with a clear takeaway. The truth has a way of surfacing, and when it does, even the most calculated narratives can crumble in front of the world. Erika's reaction, ranging from rage to panic, was proof that Candace's revelations had hit a nerve. And the story was far from over. The day after the explosive confrontation with Candace Owens, the fallout was immediate and intense. Social media was flooded with clips of Erika Kirk's visibly enraged reaction as Candace presented irrefutable evidence suggesting her involvement in concealing key details about Charlie Kirk's death. Twitter, X, and TikTok users dissected every frame, replaying her trembling hands, sharp gestures, and heated responses. Analysts described it as a masterclass in unguarded human emotion. And the sheer volume of views confirmed the public's fascination. Behind the scenes, the production team reported that Erika's behavior during the segment was markedly different from her previous appearances. In earlier interviews, she had maintained an almost robotic composure, carefully phrasing every word to protect her image. But facing Candace's meticulously compiled evidence, that control evaporated entirely. Multiple insiders described seeing her break down emotionally, combining anger, frustration, and anxiety in a way that no one could have predicted. Candace's approach was precise and unrelenting. She systematically walked through financial records, private messages, and witness statements that indicated Erika may have been aware of events surrounding Charlie's death and acted to suppress information. Every revelation seemed to escalate Erika's visible panic. At one point, she nearly shouted over Candace, insisting that she was just protecting the family. But the audience could see through the deflection. Sources close to the situation confirmed that Erika's legal team was working feverishly behind the scenes, attempting to control the narrative and mitigate potential legal exposure. Emails obtained by investigative journalists suggest the team advised her to remain silent in public statements, avoid interviews, and refrain from commenting further on social media. Yet, her live responses contradicted these instructions, revealing the emotional strain she was under. Meanwhile, independent analysts began comparing Erika's reactions across multiple interviews and public statements. They highlighted contradictions between her previous claims about transparency and the new evidence Candace had brought forward. Observers noted that these discrepancies were not minor. They indicated a calculated effort to present a public image that did not match the behind-the-scenes reality. Candace's methodical presentation of evidence left little room for denial. She emphasized that her goal was not to attack Erika personally, but to uncover the truth for the public. The documentation speaks for itself, Candace stated during the broadcast. This isn't speculation. These are verified communications, financial records, and witness accounts. Erika's public narrative and these facts simply do not align. The social media reaction was immediate. Thousands of viewers posted reactions, memes, and commentary dissecting Erika's body language. Some called her visibly defeated, while others speculated about the deeper implications for the Kirk family legacy. Even political commentators weighed in, framing the incident as an unprecedented moment where a public figure's carefully curated image was dismantled live on camera. Reports indicate that during the confrontation, Erika attempted to redirect the conversation several times. She sought to shift focus to her grief, Charlie's legacy, or unrelated charitable efforts. But Candace's focus on hard evidence kept her on the defensive. Each attempt to deflect was met with pointed follow-up questions, leaving Erika with diminishing options for evasion. Off camera, the production team struggled to manage the intensity. Crew members described the environment as tense, almost volatile, with staff whispering updates to each other and trying to anticipate Erika's next moves. The emotional stakes were high. What was intended to be a controlled discussion had become an unpredictable confrontation with real consequences. In the days following, investigative journalists amplified the story. Publications began analyzing the financial transactions, message threads, and witness statements Candace revealed. Independent confirmations of some details reinforced the credibility of her claims, intensifying scrutiny on Erika Kirk. Analysts noted that the convergence of multiple evidence sources, digital, financial, and testimonial painted a coherent picture that raised serious questions about Erika's role in covering up aspects of Charlie's death. Meanwhile, Erika's public silence fueled speculation. She refrained from posting on social media, canceled planned appearances, and did not respond to media requests. This absence only heightened intrigue, prompting conspiracy theories, online debates, and expert analyses about her motives and the possible ramifications of the uncovered evidence. Insiders suggest that the pressure on Erika had tangible effects. Sources close to her report heightened stress levels, strained personal relationships, and internal conflict as she attempted to navigate the mounting scrutiny. Observers noted that her interactions during interviews became increasingly defensive and erratic, indicating the psychological toll of public exposure combined with legal and ethical dilemmas. Candace, meanwhile, maintained a composed public front, consistently emphasizing the importance of transparency and accountability. Her deliberate, evidence-based approach provided a stark contrast to Erika's reactive and emotional responses. Analysts highlighted this dynamic, noting that it amplified the perceived credibility gap between the two figures in the eyes of viewers. The story also drew attention to broader implications beyond individual reputations. The situation highlighted questions of media responsibility, public accountability, and ethical conduct in high-profile families dealing with grief and legacy. Commentators observed that the intersection of personal tragedy, public scrutiny, and financial control created a high-stakes environment that magnified every misstep. By the end of Part 2, Erika's position appeared increasingly precarious. The combination of live exposure, detailed evidence, and expert analysis left her with few viable avenues to defend her actions. Viewers were left with a clear understanding. Candace Owens' revelations had not only shaken Erika publicly, but had fundamentally challenged the narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, leaving lingering questions that demanded answers. The stage was now set for Part 3, the conclusion, where the fallout, reactions, and potential consequences for Erika Kirk would unfold in full view of the public, with all eyes on what she would do next. The tension following Candace Owens' explosive revelations reached an all-time high. Erika Kirk, who had already shown signs of panic and anger during Part 2, now faced an avalanche of scrutiny. By the time Part 3 began, the story had spread far beyond the initial broadcast. Clips of Erika's reaction had gone viral on multiple platforms, drawing millions of views, trending hashtags, and endless speculation about what she had been hiding regarding Charlie Kirk's death. Sources close to Erika described her as on edge and defensive during the days leading up to the recording. She reportedly reviewed every media report obsessively, consulted lawyers repeatedly, and attempted to coordinate a public narrative that could mitigate the fallout. But the public's fascination with Candace Owens' evidence made this almost impossible. Every statement Erika released or social media post she made was immediately analyzed for inconsistencies, fueling speculation and deepening the controversy. Part 3 opened with a more focused approach. Candace Owens, aware of how heated the prior segments had become, systematically broke down the remaining evidence. She highlighted previously unreleased communications that indicated Erika may have not only been aware of the circumstances surrounding Charlie's death, but also involved in decisions that controlled the information reaching the public. Witness accounts, financial transactions, and corroborated timelines were presented in a manner that left no room for ambiguity. Erika's reaction was intense. At first, she tried to deflect, claiming that she had acted out of love and concern for the family. But Candace's pointed questions left her struggling for credible answers. "You say you were protecting the family," Candace pressed. "But these records suggest that your actions actively concealed information. Can you explain that discrepancy?" Erika's attempts to redirect the conversation fell flat, and the audience could clearly see her frustration mounting. Off-camera, Erika's team scrambled to contain the situation. Legal advisors warned her to be cautious with statements, reminding her that every word could be used in ongoing investigations or media reporting. Despite these warnings, Erika's emotions were raw. Crew members later described her as visibly shaking, her voice rising, and her composure faltering, a stark contrast to her previous public image of poise and control. As the segment unfolded, Candace continued to juxtapose Erika's public statements with the newly presented evidence. The comparisons were devastating. Comments, emails, and actions that Erika had made months earlier now seemed intentionally misleading. Social media exploded with viewers pointing out contradictions, debating motives, and sharing clips that underscored her reactions. The sheer volume of public attention compounded the pressure on Erika, making every gesture, word, and expression subject to scrutiny. The broader implications were also becoming clear. Legal analysts began weighing in, discussing how the documented evidence could affect Erika in potential investigations or civil matters. Financial experts reviewed the transactions Candace had highlighted, noting anomalies and patterns consistent with concealment or mismanagement. Even political commentators chimed in, framing the revelations as a cautionary tale about public trust and accountability in high-profile families. Despite the intensity, Candace Owens maintained a calm, methodical approach. She emphasized that her goal was transparency, not personal attack, and consistently allowed Erika the opportunity to respond. Yet each response Erika gave seemed to deepen the perception of guilt, or at the very least, complicity. The contrast between Candace's composure and Erika's unraveling only amplified the impact of the broadcast by mid-segment. The atmosphere in the studio was tense and almost suffocating. Erika's attempts at justification grew more frantic. She repeatedly insisted that all her actions had been for the good of the family and Charlie's legacy. But Candace countered with specific examples and timelines that made those claims increasingly untenable. It was clear to viewers that Erika was struggling to maintain a coherent defense in the face of overwhelming evidence. Off-camera. Sources revealed that Erika was in constant communication with her advisors, trying to plan damage control for the inevitable social media fallout. They described her as desperate to regain control of the narrative, yet unable to counter the meticulous evidence Candace presented. This struggle played out in real time, making the live broadcast feel like a high-stakes confrontation with real consequences. As the segment drew to a close, Candace summarized the evidence and the discrepancies in Erika's narrative. She emphasized that accountability was not about shaming individuals, but about ensuring transparency and protecting the integrity of Charlie Kirk's legacy. Erika's final statements were measured, but viewers noted the lingering tension, visible frustration, and the undeniable strain that the revelations had caused. The reaction after the broadcast was immediate. Clips and highlights dominated social media, with trending hashtags focusing on Erika's reactions and Candace's revelations. Analysts dissected every detail, from Erika's body language to her verbal responses, drawing conclusions about her possible knowledge and involvement in the events surrounding Charlie's death. Podcasts, news outlets, and independent commentators jumped on the story, each providing their own interpretations and analyses. Meanwhile, investigative journalists began filing follow-up reports. They obtained additional documents and corroborated witness statements that further aligned with the evidence. Candace presented. Erika, who had previously attempted to control the narrative, now faced scrutiny that extended well beyond her immediate circle. Public perception had shifted decisively, and attempts at narrative control seemed increasingly futile. By the end of Part 3, it was clear that Candace Owens had not only exposed discrepancies in Erika Kirk's public statements, but it also forced the world to question her role in managing information related to Charlie Kirk's death. Erika's rage, frustration, and visible struggle to maintain composure became emblematic of the larger story, a tale of deception, accountability, and the unrelenting pursuit of truth. The fallout was far-reaching. Public opinion was divided. Legal experts speculated on potential consequences, and media outlets continued to cover every new development. Erika's attempts to maintain her narrative had failed under the weight of undeniable evidence. Candace Owens, meanwhile, had reinforced her reputation as someone who would confront uncomfortable truths head-on. Armed with facts and unflinching resolve, this was more than just a viral moment. It was a turning point. For Erika Kirk, the exposure brought by Candace Owens meant enduring scrutiny that could affect her personal, professional, and legal standing. For the public, it was an eye-opening look at the consequences of concealed truths and the power of evidence-driven accountability. The Erika Kirk and Candace Owens saga is far from over, and the world continues to watch closely as the story unfolds. Candace's revelations have exposed discrepancies and potential cover-ups surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, forcing Erika into the spotlight in ways she could not have anticipated. For viewers, this is a powerful reminder that truth has a way of surfacing, and attempts to hide facts can unravel quickly under scrutiny. If you want to stay updated on the latest developments, witness exclusive evidence, and follow the ongoing fallout, now's the time to stay tuned. We will continue bringing verified updates, insider insights, and expert analyses that cut through speculation and highlight the facts that truly matter. This story is more than sensational. Drama, it's an important lesson in accountability, transparency, and the high stakes of public trust. Don't miss a moment of the unfolding events. Follow closely to understand how Erika Kirk's actions, Candace Owens' revelations, and the continued investigation into Charlie Kirk's legacy will shape public perception and the truth behind one of the most explosive stories of the year. Stay informed, stay aware, and watch as this story continues to develop, revealing secrets that were once meant to remain hidden from the world.